Hello and welcome to Joint Consultative and Safety Committee. Thank you everyone for coming today. Looks like we've got a full house. Do we have any apologies for absence or any substitutions at all?
Everyone's accounted for, Chair.
Thank you. And could we approve as a correct record the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of November 2023? Yep, okay. And then any declarations of interest? Sorry?
Take a vote for the minutes.
Sorry, we need to have a vote on the minutes. I apologise for that. So to approve as the correct record the minutes of the meeting, could we have a vote on that, please, that everyone approves or disapproves? Approves. Thank you very much. And then any declaration of interests? No. Okay. So we go to the first report on the agenda, which is sickness, absence, the report from the Head of HR, Performance and Service Planning.
Thank you, Chair. So a standard report that I think perhaps you'll become sort of familiar with now. I'll just perhaps present it really for an update. So you'll see that at Appendix 1, which starts at page 8, that for the data up to the end of the year, end of December 2023, our sickness absence ran at 10.11 days. It actually is slightly higher than that currently. You'll understand that the target is 9 full-time equivalent days per full-time equivalent employee, so we are a little bit over target. In that appendix, you'll see also a breakdown of sort of longer-term and short-term absence. Long-term is normally sort of 20 days in a month being lost. So although it's reduced over the last quarter from 12 to 10, you'll see that still that long-term absence presents quite a substantial amount of the amount of absence that is in the organisation, about 60%. Again, it is reduced slightly in terms of number of cases since the report was written, but you'll understand that each case of long-term absence does significantly skew and have an impact on the statistics. I can only really, I suppose, tell you what I told you at the meeting last time, which is that absolutely we are conscious of that sort of impact. We do work, I suppose, with managers and the HR reps to work proactively to try to encourage return to work in longer term absence cases. And again, that doesn't mean to return unsafely or before people are ready. It doesn't mean that, but it means always supportive to try to encourage return. Yes, it does. Certainly looking over some of the reasons, which I wouldn't want to report in detail here in open committee, the cases that are remaining with us are quite difficult, I think, and you'll understand that there are sort of certain perhaps illnesses and conditions which are really quite difficult to do much with other than to sort of give time to resolve. So what I would say is that yes, the number of cases are quite high at the moment still, and it does have an impact. Yes, we are working actively to try to return people to work, but some of the cases are quite difficult. Again, what we do have is support for, let's say, mental health within the workplace, and that's provided through an employee assistance programme. We've actually re-tendered on that, and we're going again now with the same supplier. And we're doing a bit of a relaunch as well, so actually posters around the place, but also items on the intranet to remind people really about what is available to the organisation by way of support. And at page 15 in your papers, it's just an extract from the intranet, which gives an idea about that range of support, and that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Things like face-to-face counselling sessions, discussions with counsellors online, citizens' advice, help, debt advice, online information and webinars about a whole range of different subjects, and support for mental health first aiders, which we don't have in the workplace at the moment, but that is something that we're planning to put into place during the coming year. And also information about sort of budget management as well. So it's just to give you a background about sort of the sort of support that is available to people within the workplace. So that was all I was going to say, Chair. Happy to take questions. Other than that, just returning to the recommendations at section 2.
Would anybody like to ask any questions or comments? Councillor Hughes.
Thank you. This has been raised before. Has there any been progress on getting comparative data with similar authorities, perhaps on a 6-monthly or annual basis, just so we could compare? Because they used to be presented to a performance scrutiny committee way back in the day, but I think there was a problem obtaining it the last time I asked. Has there been any progress on that?
Certainly. No, I thought that I'd emailed that through to members of the committee, and apologies if that's not the case. What I can do is to check when I'm back in the office and to come back on that.
Thinking about it, yes, you did. It just slipped my mind. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problems. Okay, that's...
Are there any other questions or comments? No. So we'll go on to the next report, which is agenda item number 5, which is minor establishment changes. Again, this is you, I believe.
It's a one-man show, I'm afraid, Chair. Yep. So, fairly straightforward. So again, this is a standing item, and the purpose of the item is to report to you as a committee minor establishment changes that have happened, perhaps outside the full consultation process. What I will say is that any changes to the establishment do take place with full consultation with the trade unions before they're decided upon by the Chief Executive. So this is a matter just of reporting this to you to make sure that you're aware of those. On this occasion, over the last few months, just one change to report really in community and leisure services. Some small changes to a number of part-time posts that have been created, really in response to the, I suppose, increased and ongoing popularity of the swimming lessons that we have. So this is a way of just trying to support those through additional administrative support, and also with the increased footfall, a part-time post of leisure attendant and also cleaner as well. So fairly straightforward, Chair. Again, the report's just presented for information, please.
Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Creamer.
Yeah, just a quick one. It was to actually cope with the increased footfall. Is it enough, or will we have to look at it again at some time in the future, and hopefully footfall will increase?
But potentially, I guess so. So, I mean, the report, I mean, it's, I suppose it's presented by Leisure Services, that they've taken an assessment of that. But no, you're right. I mean, if things continue to increase, I guess that they would perhaps come back for more. And I know that obviously we try to sort of do things as efficiently as we can now, and not to overstaff. You know, that's true of any organisation. But no, certainly, I guess what I'm pleased to see is that there has been a response to that recognition that there is increased trade. So we are doing things about it.
Any more questions or comments? Okay. Agenda item 6, which is current staffing issues.
Yep, thank you, Chair. So again, this is an update, and I hope seen as a positive update. It's really to notify you of a new group within the organisation. So it's sort of self-titled, really. The group decided upon the title, so the Gedling Inclusion Group Support. In essence, it's a group of employees who have volunteered to take part in that group. We have around about 13 at the moment. The purpose of the group really is as a body that would, I suppose, represent the wider interests relating to equality and diversity and inclusion. The driver really is I suppose, to have a group within the organisation that really isn't, I suppose, led by management as well. It's something that the workforce can have access to, perhaps to raise issues of concern or interest in a way which perhaps might be anonymous or feels safe, and for that group really to report those issues to management, so that it's a way of, I suppose, inputting into our arrangements, our policies, our management within the organisation, and to make sure that the place really is the place we'd want it to be. Short-term goals also include perhaps improved communication within the workforce. So I'd expect that group to be looking at perhaps issues that might be important to them, that they would see as being relevant to this workplace particularly, and for them to perhaps give us guidance about sort of that communication. And also perhaps to contribute towards events that might be in our sort of calendar of events. So we have all sorts of, I suppose, references throughout the year to do with days of, and there are perhaps important days relating to protected characteristics under the Equality Act. That group, we hope, might be able to support some of those as well. Longer term goals of the group would be increased promotion of the equality, diversity, inclusion within the organisation, and perhaps sort of contribution to sort of projects and policy as well. So almost a sounding board, that would be the idea. So it's very new. It's met, I think, properly just once. The plan would be to be a group that would be self-sustaining and to meet over the year with some degree of regularity as well. So my hope is it would be seen as a positive move within the organisation.
Yeah, can I just make a comment just to say how much I welcome this report on this group? I think it's a very positive and forward-thinking policy, so I welcome it. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Councillor Creamer.
Yeah, just to echo what the Chair says exactly. I really welcome it. It's very positive. And I just wondered, will this time next year be a report on how they're getting on? So not a formal report to us, but just indication of how they're getting on, if they need any support, etc.
Certainly that could be the case, absolutely, yes. It is early days, so it'll be interesting for us all to see how that goes. And yeah, we hope they go from strength to strength. Thank you.
Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Chair. Can I just ask, are these 13 members, are they members of staff from across Gedling Borough, not just from the Civic Centre, but from, was it advertised for staff like at the Leisure Centre at Calverton or any other bases?
Thank you. Good question. Because it is easy to forget the officers that don't work in the Civic Centre. The answer is yes, and again, drawn from, I suppose, levels within the organisation as well. So it is a broad group of people, and it is nice to see that they're drawn on that voluntary basis as well. So I think they would have some real passion there.
Councillor Pope.
Thank you, Chair. I really welcome this development, and obviously you'll know that Overview and Scrutiny are reviewing the equality and diversity strategy, so I think it'd be really helpful perhaps to be able to engage with this group and get their views of how it's working as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Scroggy.
Yeah, just to sort of follow on from what everybody just said, really. But I might ask if I can go one better. Is there scope for members of the JCSE to possibly attend and observe this group, just so we get an idea of, obviously, I know we see it on paper, but it would be good to see it in person, if that's possible, if they would like to invite us, that would be good. And also, maybe, like you say, it's early days, but, you know, the unions attend GCSE. Is it possible for the person that potentially chairs this new group to come and observe GCSE when it's relevant? I don't know whether that would be appropriate.
So a few questions there. Certainly, I can ask the group if they would like perhaps to invite perhaps the chair of the committee to a meeting. I can certainly ask that. I'm going to pick up the last one because I can't remember the middle one. Sorry. In terms of coming to this group, I mean, it's an open meeting, so I mean, absolutely they could come along to this meeting. We need to be careful about sort of constitution. I mean, the reason that trade unions are here is because they are, you know, a formal part of the committee, as it were, and in terms of the contribution. So we perhaps need to have an eye for that. But you know, certainly the attendance at the meeting would be possible. I can't remember the second one. I'm really sorry.
No, I think I only asked two questions. Just to follow up, obviously, we're all in favour of this group, and we particularly want groups like this that you know, we want to hear from employees and, you know, boots on the ground people, because all due respect, a lot of the time councillors hear from managers and senior leadership team and stuff like that. So it's always good to hear from you know, lower level workers. I think that benefits councillors, I think.
Sure. And again, I guess just to echo what I said before, I mean, the group is made up of a whole range of officers from around the place, but also in terms of seniority as well. So we have some more junior members of staff, as you were saying, but also some really quite senior members of staff. So it is a real mix that we have. But certainly I can put those things to them. Thank you.
Councillor Pope, do you feel that your question was answered? I'm sorry,
Well, I assume it's not really for anyone here to answer it, is it? I was just, I hope that the group would want to engage but we haven't even set the terms of reference for that group yet.
Well, my suggestion might be, if it's helpful, is I can certainly report that suggestion and try and feed that into the scrutiny committee. I'm not quite sure where you are yet with that sort of review, but it sounds though...
Our first meeting's either next week or the week after.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. So leave that with me. I can feed that into sort of officers who might be responsible for sitting in with that meeting, and just try and feed that comment and that idea in there as well. So if there's a committee you felt that it would be the right thing to do and a relevant thing to do, then I guess that you could program that attendance in. Yeah. Okay.
agenda item 7, we don't have anything for that, I believe. So we're going to move on to agenda item 8, which is the exclusion of the public and press. So to move that under section 108(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, the public and press be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the ensuing report on the grounds that the report involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 4, part 1 of schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972.
Second.
And we have to have a vote on that. So could we see hands in favour? Thank you, that's anonymous.